Hello everyone, we are about to make history. We're going to dive into the official, unofficial, enormous, sprawling Melee Iceberg. I know it's a little bit different from most of the videos you see on this channel, but I felt that someone had to explain, or at least attempt to go through most or all the entries on this iceberg, because Melee has a quite interesting history, and as part of that history, I felt it upon myself to be the bringer, the arbiter, the messenger himself, and to make this happen. So without further ado, let's get into it, because this is quite a doozy. The Super Smash Bros. Melee Iceberg.
As soon as Sheik explodes, let go of down before she gets present.
Starting with, of course, Tier 1, the Wombo combo. And I went ahead and pulled up the information just because this is a very, very well-known one. The Wombo combo does refer to a doubles combo that was played at a West Coast tournament, SCSA West Coast Circuit 1. The Wombo combo nowadays usually refers to Fox, shining into up smash with a team combo. In this case, it was Silent Spectre, Tang, Lucky, and Zoo playing doubles. And of course, as it says here, Zoo is the one who got Wombo comboed with a shine up smash into Silent Spectre's final knee, and the commentators lose their mind. And of course, in that case, Waffles, the commentator, Homemade Waffles, starts shouting, "Where you at? Where you at? Poor Zoo, happy feet, Wombo combo." And these commentary messages made it a meme, and it got memed and turned into this sort of cult classic. And anyway, Wombo combo is the most famous combo in Smash. There's tons of parodies of it, so that one's pretty straightforward. Event Match 51 refers to the final event match in event match mode. You have Mewtwo, Ganondorf, and Giga Bowser fighting each other, and you have to sort of beat them all as fast as you can. There's speedrunning for this, but the most famous tactic is using Jigglypuff and literally just using Pound into rest, because it kills Giga Bowser immediately, and he's enormous and huge. And actually with Jigglypuff, it's super easy. I think even a 5-year-old could do it. L canceling refers to canceling your own lag. Contrary to popular belief, doesn't refer to clicking L. L stands for lag canceling. You can use in Melee L, R, or Z to L cancel. You input L, R, or Z right before you touch the ground after doing an aerial, and that cuts off the lag of the aerial. You can see this most notably with Link doing his down air, where he stabs his sword into the ground. If you L cancel it, he gets up really quickly. If you don't, his sword stays on the ground. He does a very slow gap animation. So L canceling 100% necessary for top level play. Fox only 1v1 FD, no items. This refers to a meme that I think was originated by the whole 20XX movement. A lot of people, especially who were, I think it was like sort of casuals, critiquing the competitive audience. It refers to the fact that the competitive Melee community only uses 5 or 6 stages, depending on the rule set. We don't use items in competitive Melee, and Fox is the best character. So for a lot of the time, you would see 2 Fox players doing a Ditto match or Fox one-on-one, and because of this, they would, you would see Fox does most often. An FD is a very flat stage. It's the most plain stage in the game. It's also controversial. We'll get into more of that later. And so, when you're talking about sort of tryhard Melee, you would say Fox only 1v1 FD, no items. And this also, became a meme. And you can turn it into a lot of things. You would start by saying something like better ingredients, better pizza, Fox only, Files Nation, no items,
Papa John,
things like that. Peach Bob Oms. So Peach is a character in Melee. Very, very good character too, should I say. When she does down B, she pulls out a turnip, but each turnip has a chance of being different based upon RNG. She can pull out a turnip, a winky face turnip that's a little more powerful. She can pull out a dot eyes turnip, which is even more powerful, better chance of killing. She can even pull out a stitch face, which is almost a one-hit KO. Very, very low chance. But then she could also have the chance to pull out some items, including Mr. Saturn, a beam sword, and bob-ombs. Bob-ombs are roughly 1 in 364 chance, or 0.26%. And this bomb is extremely powerful, and in most cases in tournament play, Peach players will actually end up killing themselves in tournament by throwing a bomb, because the bomb has such a big hitbox when it explodes, and it also has the potential to bounce off shields, that actually in most cases is more of a liability than a killing tool. So whenever a Peach pulls out a bomb in tournament, you know stuff is about to get real. Shore up double laser. Fox players use this tactic very, very commonly. Refers to just simply inputting a shore up and then immediately doing a laser, 2 lasers in the air. It's the quickest way for Fox to move while he does lasers, and also a very, very easy way to rack up damage while you're keeping distance from your opponent. You'll see every Fox player do this. Very, very common. Wave dash and waveland. When you air dodge into the ground in melee, your character performs a sliding action. Some characters have longer wave dashes than others. Luigi and I think Ice Climbers have the longest wave dash. Very, very good tactic for being evasive, maneuvering yourself around the stage. Wave landing is doing the exact same thing, but you're landing from the air and inputting the landing animation, the wave dash, right as you touch the ground, causing a very long slide. And on platforms, of course, you can jump onto a platform. Instead of hopping onto it, you can wave land onto the platform, and helps you get onto the platform quicker, and also can let you move immediately upon touching a platform or any surface really. You'll see hundreds of thousands of wave dash per tournament by all players. It's just everyone does it. You have to wave dash. Start battle as Sheik. Of course, Sheik is one of the best characters in Super Smash Bros. Melee, but Sheik is only accessible in Melee by choosing Zelda. And when you choose Zelda, in order to start as Sheik in the game, you have to hold A on the character select screen. You'll hear the transform animation, you know, during the 3, 2, 1, go. So just hold A on the character select screen while the stage is loading as Zelda. The knee, this refers to Falcon's forward air, one of the best aerials in the game. Has incredible kill power. You'll see every Falcon player use it for a lot of combo finishers, and it has a sour spot where it does a little bit of damage, and a sweet spot right at the tip of the knee, which can kill lots of characters at very low percents. And the way he's made, it just everything leads into each other. So very good aerial. The knee of justice. Marth's grab range.
I mean, look at this. Sure, if I'm right up in Marth's face and I get grabbed, okay, fine, I deserve it. And if I'm a little bit farther out and then I get grabbed, okay, you know what, whatever. But if I'm halfway across the stage, all the way over here...
Yeah, Marth's grab range, it's, Marth he's one of the best characters in the game, top 2 easily, I feel. And he has also one of the longest grabs in the entire game. So when Marth goes for a grab, you'll realize that his range is quite long. And not to mention the fact that Marth, when he gets a grab on all our characters, can do insanely crazy combos. So keep a distance from Marth, because for some reason, his grab range is very, very high.
Oh! Okay, Ken. I got a little hype for that one too. You aight?
But from this darkness emerged order. For a period of time, 5 players emerged who seemed
The Gods of Melee. The Gods of Melee refer to 5 players who were very, very dominant in their time and sort of won every single tournament that they entered. Those first 2. Mango, Mewtwo King, Armada, PPMD, and myself, Hungrybox. We would win basically all the tournaments we entered, and it was a reign of dominance that was very, very notable from the, I believe, 2008-09 era all up until maybe 2015, before players started retiring or hiatus. And of the 5 gods, myself and Mango are the only 2 who are still very active. PPMD and Armada. Armada's retired. PPMD is semi-retired on hiatus, but he's back with Golden Guardians and playing again. And Mewtwo King hasn't entered many Melee tournaments, so yeah. So those are the 5 gods. A lot of grand finals of every tournament, you'll see 2 gods fighting each other. But as of recently, there have been a few players who were able to defeat all 5 gods. You know, Leffen was the first. He's called the God Slayer. I believe Plup was the other one. So yeah, beating all 5 gods is one of the best accomplishments in Melee, and it sort of makes you ascend to the pantheon. Not become a god, but a god slayer.
Hello Smashers, Reggie here. I wanted to officially wish you luck in the final stages of the Super Smash Bros. Melee Tournament at EVO 2014. Before the action begins, I want to thank you all for continuing to support the Super Smash Bros. Series over all these years. You never know, I might show up to challenge you someday. And if we ever do get to go head-to-head, please, no Johns.
No Johns. Of course, Reggie, he made a speech to the Smash community at EVO 2014. No Johns in Melee means no excuses. Like if you say, oh, you only beat me because I suck, or you only beat me because the sun was in my eyes, my controller's not working, the TV wasn't the right size, I'm playing a low tier, you only won because I wasn't trying. Those are Johns. They're excuses, and if you lost, it's because you lost, you got wrecked. And apparently it started because a player named John from Texas was known for making excuses a long time ago. It's one of the deepest Melee lores. Even to this day, 20 years later, people are still saying no Johns. Single player, no C-stick smashes. An interesting fact, when you play any single player mode in Melee, like classic mode or event matches or what have you, for some reason you can't use C-stick for smash attacks, which is a pretty bad mechanic, I feel. So when you use C-stick instead, when you do that, I believe it actually zooms in on the camera for you. It makes the game or your character appear bigger. So they opted to use C-stick camera control instead of C-stick smash attacks in 1v1 modes, which makes obtaining world records that much harder. So to the people who are in the speedrunning communities for Break the Targets, for other modes, using C-stick on vanilla, yeah, can't do that. Kind of wild. Fox, Falco, Corneria interaction. If you do a special taunt with Fox and Falco, I believe by mashing up and down on the D-pad on your controller very quickly, you actually get an Easter egg that come out. And so you get sort of Fox and Falco with these sort of text boxes on the bottom of the screen, which alludes to the original Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. It's a cool little Easter egg in the game, and you can pull it off with a little bit of practice. It works on both Corneria and Venom.
Enemies behind you! Fox! I think someone's on my tail! Get out of there, Slippy! Thanks, Fox! I thought I was done for.
So, one of the only special taunts in the entire game. Kind of a neat difference to this. Slippy. Slippy refers to the beauty of online Melee with rollback netcode. Fizzy, one of the greatest members of the community, was able to develop and finish Slippy during the era of the pandemic and allow us to play online tournaments. And basically, it's pretty incredible. It's an amazing tag tool, and you can play basically in the US from west coast to coast connection very almost flawlessly. And in some cases, I've seen people play from America to Europe. So yeah, online Melee is a thing, and we use the Dolphin emulator. Slippy is a form of the Dolphin emulator. It's the best way to play Melee when you're at home, in my opinion, because why would you just want to play against computers on your CRT when you can play against other people in rollback connection? So, beautiful thing, Slippy. Thank you very much. If you hold L or R on certain stages while the game is loading, they have alternate music. You can see this on the Final Destination or on Pokefloats. Give it a try. It's the same thing as like holding A to get Sheik instead of Zelda. Just hold L or R on a stage when it's selected. You might get its alternate music. The Infinite Super Scope glitch, it involves using a Super Scope, and I believe you do 5 single shots, and then you do 3 fully charged shots. And while the third fully charged shot is charging up, you just get hit by anyone or jabbed by anyone, and the Super Scope, in some strange glitch, will now have infinite ammo. It will never run out. So neat little tool with the Super Scope. Always like doing that. The black hole glitch is one of the most popular glitches in the game. You need a Peach, a Ness, and 2 Spaceys. And basically, you use that Super Scope glitch, and using the certain modifications to the rules, team attack is on, so you can sort of have 1 Spacey and 1 Ness on a team. Ness will grab the Super Scope, shoot through 1 Spacey, and both Spaceys will be on 2 platforms, either on Hyrule or Battlefield. And the shots will go through 1 Spacey, reflect off another Spacey holding Shine, and cause the Super Scope ammo to bounce back and forth very, very quickly, causing a sort of chasm, like a sort of like mini black hole in the middle of both characters. And when Peach starts throwing turnips into that, it creates this standalone chaotic ball of turnips that, when you touch it, you get instantly KO'd. It can do 99 damage immediately. It can crash or corrupt the game. But yeah, the most notable one is the Hyrule Temple setup. It's really, really cool. And then, of course, if you use Nest, you can put fire into it to make the game run even slower, because the fire is bouncing off like 15 turnips, and everything starts getting stuttery. And then, of course, if you're Fox Falco, you can actually phantasm through it and have like the silhouette or Fox Falco just right there in the black hole. And you can add Snorlax to it. It's really, really cool. Look up the black hole glitch. It's really, really awesome. Splitting Brinstar. If you attack the green cylindrical nodes in the right-hand part of the floor, you can actually split the Brinstar map in two. If you damage the tendrils between the main stage and side platforms, you can cause the connected platforms to spring up and remain slanted upwards. With enough time, the damaged environmental assets will return back to normal. So it's basically one of the few stages that actually has damage. You can damage the stage, cause it to move and open up, and then, of course, over time, it'll come back together. One of the other stages you can actually damage is the Great Fox Guns, the bottom left of Corneria. You can hop underneath Corneria, jump to the bottom left guns, and you can damage them using aerials or down smash, whatever you want to do. Once you damage them, it's going to cause them to stop firing, but then you can no longer stand on them. So if you ever play with your friends and it was free for all and you want to screw them over, like as Puff or a Floaty, you hit the guns, and if they're playing a character with only 2 jumps, they can't get back, so it's kind of funny. Ledge mechanics. Melee ledge mechanics are very notorious, because unlike future games, the characters will not grab ledges if they're facing away from them or rising upwards. In order to grab Melee's ledge, you have to be facing it, and only one player at a time can grab the ledge, which leads to something called ledge hogging. So if you get, let's say Captain Falcon off the ledge, hit him twice, he goes for his recovery, he's aiming for the ledge. If you grab the ledge first, you hog it, and so you ledge hog him, and then he has to fall right through you. So it's a very, very common way of confirming a kill in Melee. And the Melee ledge also, whenever you grab it, you restore invincibility permanently, which led to the ledge grab limit rule, where you can only grab the ledge 60 times in a game if it goes to time, because other characters like Sheik, Puff, etc. can actually stall over and over by doing this. Spikes versus meteors. This refers to the down air motion of a character. So a meteor smash is a type of attack that sends opponents downwards as opposed to horizontally or upwards like most attacked, like Mario forward air, DK forward air, Ganondorf down air, Mars down air, etc., etc. Meteor smashes can be meteor canceled, which means you can actually jump out of them after you get hit. So these are, for instance, like spikes that aren't really true. Like Captain Falcon's foot, you can actually jump out of as Puff and you get spiked. But if Captain Falcon hits you with the nipple hitbox, that's what it's called, that's actually a spike, and you cannot meteor cancel that. And so characters that have spikes, these are very, very good moves because they cannot be jumped out of, and hence you cannot recover or upbeat out of. So yeah, that's basically it. So some characters have amazing, way, way better downers than others. Most notably Falco, Marth, and Falco and Marth are the most common spikes you'll see in the game that you can't jump out of. And in NTSC version of Melee, Falco's down air, the entire thing is a spike. So it's very, very good. All right, tier 2. XX is referred to a movement started by Fox players that says in the year 20XX, everyone will play Fox because he's the best character in the game. There's no reason to play any other character. And it was funny because more and more top 8 results of Melee started having Fox players in it. So that's kind of what happened. And it's just a meme that we use now. It never really came true. There's always top players of other characters, but I think Fox and Falco are definitely the 2 most common characters in tournaments at the top level. Moonwalking. So moonwalking, you can actually sort of move backwards while your character is running forwards by doing a sort of Nike symbol movement with your control stick. Captain Falcon can do this really, really well, and you can use this actually to maintain a lot of backwards momentum if you're going for like a reverse aerial off a stage for an edge guard. Light shields and power shields in Melee. If you hold R or L really, really strong, it'll give you your full shield. If you lightly tap it, it'll be a bigger shield that's also more vulnerable and softer and goes down more quickly if it gets hit. So you can change the size of your shield. Light shielding is actually very, very important sometimes. You don't want to always full shield. And characters like Game & Watch, their full shield is actually horrible. So you want to use light shield. And then power shielding is the act of shielding right as you get hit. You might know this as a parry and ultimate, but in melee it's power shield. And a power shield also allows you to reflect projectiles, and you can act quickly out of things to do it. So yeah, that's power shielding.
So this technique is called foxtrotting.
Foxtrot, apart from as opposed to like wave dashing or wave landing or dash dancing, a foxtrot is you can input just one direction over and over again, and the character will start a dash and just keep starting a dash. So Fox can just start a dash over and over and over, and it's a cool way to make him move sort of more quickly across the stage, which I always think looked neat. And dash dancing is like inputting left and right really, really quickly and sort of allowing yourself to move back and forth very, very quickly and mixing up your opponents. So they can't really tell where you're going to be. And dash dancing, a lot of characters can do this well. Some characters can't really do it well at all, like Bowser. But usually all the top tiers can dash dance really well. And if you do it really, really quickly, you can almost make the character just like almost vibrate in place. It's really, really, really hard to pull off technically, but it is possible. So yeah, that's dash dancing. Wave shining. So Fox can actually shine and then immediately out of his shine do a wave dash and then shine again. So you can actually wave shine. So you can actually sort of push the character across the stage like someone just like stringing along their opponent with Fox. Not all characters can be wave shine. Some of them tumble out of shine. But most notably, you can wave shine characters like Captain Falcon, like Peach, etc. And this allows Fox to just sort of, on a long stage like FD, if you land a shine, you can just wave shine them across the entire stage, and it's a true combo, and it guarantees into an up smash. So to finish out a stock, you might see a Fox player get someone to like 70-80%, get a drill into a shine, wave shine, wave shine, wave shine, wave shine, up smash, and finish their food. So very, very good tactic. Smash DI. So DI is called directional influence, and so when you use directional influence, when you get hit by anything, depending on what direction you're holding, that's the way your character is going to sort of fly. In a sense, you can't always fully control where your character is going to be. If you're at high percent, you might just be dead either way. But in many cases, if you hold the exact sort of perpendicular or exact direction off a big hit, your direction that you hold could be what makes you survive or not survive. When it comes to Smash DI, it's a tactic that lets you get out of combos and live longer. The Smash DI that I'm known for is when Fox grabs me and up throw up airs me. It's a multi-hit combo. So when the character hits you with a multi-hit, like let's say a Fox's drill or Fox's up air or any move that has multiple hits, by mashing your control stick, you can sort of make your character sort of like very, very quickly like jostle out of that hitbox. And it might cause the other hits of that multi-hit move to not connect. So Smash DI is a more intricate form of DI, but still very, very important for multi-hit combos. Or in some cases, you can Smash DI a single hit move and completely throw off your initial trajectory of where a character is going. Most notably, you can watch someone like Wizrobe do this. It's extremely difficult to pull off, but it's very, very important. Angled tilt attacks. Most characters actually have a tilt they can do, or an angle they can do on their tilt attacks, like a forward tilt. Most notably, like you can use Captain Falcon or Ganondorf. You can use their forward tilt upwards or downwards or forward. And a lot of players do this by accident, but the alternate attack angles can give players like an added range in certain situations. So one of the big ones is if you use a downward angled forward tilt on the ledge, it sort of acts as a down tilt. You can sort of make someone get off the ledge. So it's actually a pretty helpful move. East versus West. It just refers to like the age-old history between crew battles of the East Coast and the West Coast. It's existed for the entirety of competitive Smash. So yeah, just East Coast and West Coast always had a rivalry. You can watch it in the Smash Bros. Documentary. There always was an argument of who's the better region, who has the best players. So there's always been there. And even in the MLG 2014, they revamped the East Coast, West Coast crew battles. There's a glitch in Melee. We can actually play as Master Hand. You do it by, you can either have 2 controllers or you can do it with 1 controller, but you need to have 1 player selected as a character and then 1 player with an empty character screen on the versus CSS. And basically, if you are able to click back on the screen while also clicking the name entry on one player's empty screen, there's a name entry where you can sort of put your tag of 4 digits. If you do back and click that name entry at the exact same time, the game actually progresses into the stage select screen, and then next thing you know, you're playing as Master Hand. You can also do this with 1 controller, just by holding B and then clicking A on that little black text box at the exact same time that it goes back. You can do it probably in like a few tries to get it, and it's really easy. So this glitch was actually discovered way later than most people expected. You know, people would thought this glitch would have been known earlier on, but I think this was discovered within the past 6-7 years, and the game's been out 20 years, if I recall correctly. So that's another thing. Wobbling.
That's a very, very, very expensive roll.
That. Look at him.
Paid with his life. All right, Nun's checking Twitter. Tweet at him.
Wow, my man is on social media right now.
He's like, I can't believe this guy.
Wobbling is an infamous method where you hold your target in an inescapable pummeling state. It's banned now in competition, but it was legal for a good while, and it's done with ice climbers. You grab your opponent with ice climbers, you sort of input a jab with Popo, and then you do input another jab with Nana, downward angled, and you desync those jabs, and it goes like and then if you tap your A button at a certain BPM, a certain rhythm, it'll cause your your opponent to be in a state that's inescapable, and it's an infinite. So it's one of the only infinites in the game that was legal for a long time, and wobbling caused a lot of upsets with top players, and it caused a lot of ice climber players to get incredible results because it's an infinite that's also extremely easy to do in the scope of Melee. So it was very controversial, and eventually ended up just being banned in the latter years of Melee. Shield dropping. If you are on a platform and you hold a shield and then you downward angle your control stick, you can actually drop through the platform while you're shielding. The big use of this is that when you get aerialed by someone, let's say I'm standing on a platform and I'm shielding, and someone comes and tries to attack me, you can use shield dropping as a sort of way to get around or sort of counterattack that aerial with your own aerial. So you can shield up through a platform that immediately puts your character in the air and allows you to do an aerial almost instantaneously. It was around for a while, but only really started being used more in Melee, I would say, in the last like 5 years. And so people started using that in so many situations, and it became just this integral tool to not only escape combos, but also to sort of counterattack and start your own combos too. Great sort of trap element as well, because you can be shielding above someone, they're below you, and then immediately shield drop and start a combo. Crouch canceling, essentially if you're at low percents, you can actually just hold down and your character will almost go nowhere. You won't not get stunned at all. You can crouch cancel certain moves. So at low percents, if Fox goes for like an aerial or someone tries to hit you, you can actually just crouch cancel and immediately grab them. It kind of acts like armor in a sense. So if you're familiar with like super armor, it's kind of like that. Like you don't go nowhere, you don't move, and you can act out of it almost immediately. So it's a very, very useful tool. Of course, higher percent it doesn't work, but heavier characters can crouch cancel for longer times than lighter characters. So yeah. CRT displays, these are the ones that were used for Melee for a long time. Any big TV that's sort of cube shaped, that's probably a CRT. It's what Melee was put on for a long time, and the reason people loved CRT so much is because it sort of allowed you to play the game for the most part with no lag. It was the true way to play vanilla Melee. And if you plugged in Melee with your AV cables into like a monitor, it would sort of cause delay. But nowadays we have great ways of playing Melee on our monitors through our computers with even less lag than a CRT. In fact, Slippy has gotten so optimized to the point where now it's actually recommended to add a few frames of lag to sort of simulate the CRT experience. So yeah, that's why lag is extremely important in Melee. The game moves so fast you can't have anything slowing it down. Shine spiking is refers to Fox. Fox has, of course, down B shine reflector, but when you use the shine or reflect off a stage on someone, they get launched at a horribly low angle to the point where they can't recover. In fact, I would argue that a shine is the best spike in the game, apart from Falco's Downer, for many reasons. It goes around his entire body, It comes out on frame 1, and it's just ridiculously good. So yeah, shine spiking with Fox, extremely important.
They're also a little more awkward. Yep, some of the more awkward shield standoffs I've seen. They were literally inside of the model right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, grabs are so important in sense. If not, then your opponent's just going to shield everything, and there's really no consequence.
Whoa!
Randall refers to the cloud that moves around Yoshi's story. And this cloud has a sort of pattern where it goes into or out of Yoshi's story stage at whenever the second timer is at 4 seconds. And so this cloud has caught, it's sort of become this integral part of the stage where it can give someone an extra chance to recover. Or if people know the timing, you can actually use it yourself to continue combos, to recover yourself, and to make sure you can confirm a kill. Randall, his name comes from Fast Fox, dating back to an ancient Smash Ports post from 2006. He declared that the cloud's name is now Randall, and it kind of just stuck. So yeah, Randall has definitely caused a lot of players to win sets they shouldn't have, or to lose sets they shouldn't have either. So if you know the timing for Randall, it really isn't random because it's based upon a timer. But yeah, a lot of shenanigans with that cloud on the stage. So you can actually, on adventure mode, if you clear the first stage with a 2 at the end of your timer on the seconds, you can actually fight Luigi, on the adventure mode. And a lot of people were under the impression this is a random occurrence, but no, it's not random at all. You just need to finish or hit the sort of that finish line in adventure mode in the first stage with a 2 at the end of your timer, and you will fight Luigi. Sheik needle storage. If you charge your needles as Sheik and then sort of have them there, you can also cancel charge with L or R, and Sheik will be flashing. You can switch to Zelda, and if you die as Zelda and you come back and go back to Sheik, you'll still retain the needles that you had before you died. So that's a fun little fact a lot of people don't know about. Ken combo refers to using Marth and then just using fair, forward air into a spike. It's used even to this day. It's a very common combo, and of course was created by Sephiroth Ken, who was the first ever, in a sense, best player in the world, and it was just his namesake combo, and it stuck around for 20 years. Shuffle stands for short hop, fast fall, L cancel. It's the quickest way to sort of do certain moves. So if you see a Fox doing short hop nairs all across the stage, they are shuffling, or you can also do it, of course, with drills or Falco's down air. And yeah, it's the best way to apply pressure with a very quick aerial, and it's seen most often with Fox and Falco. You can technically do it with a lot of characters, or if not all, but with the top tiers it's way more prevalent. So yeah, shuffling, very easy way to apply pressure. Guys, I hope you all are enjoying the video so far. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified when part 2 of the Melee Iceberg goes live tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get into our next tier, Tier 3, the surface level. Version numbers, NTSC and PAL. This refers to the fact that Melee had multiple releases, like 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. They're chronological in nature, and they often came with hotfixes that patch certain bugs and exploits. NTSC covers most releases, and PAL is exclusive to Europe, and they had certain versions that were, certain changes which caused actually certain characters to be buffed or nerfed. Most notably, Falco and Marth were nerfed in the PAL version because their down air was nerfed. Fox was also heavily nerfed in PAL with his up smash and his Firefox recovery. There was also some weird things as well too, where like Ganondorf was also nerfed in PAL. So yeah, nowadays we all use the NTSC version of Melee, but because of PAL, the tier list was slightly changed as well. Yeah, they actually did a pretty good job of balancing the game in PAL, I would say, because like Fox got nerfed, Marth got nerfed, Falco got nerfed. A lot of the characters that were really good did get nerfed, so pretty interesting. Free Melee is a movement that, of course, referred to the fact that Nintendo wasn't allowing tournaments to broadcast the game live, and so there was, in a sense, suppressing the Melee community, and the Free Melee movement started as a result of retaliation to Nintendo, sort of us saying, you know, you can't tell us what to do with this game that you don't even care about, that you released 20 years ago. Why can't we stream it? Why can't we do this? And notably, of course, during the big house that happened in 2020, the online event, they shared a post saying, "We're heartbroken to share we've received a cease and desist from Nintendo of America to cancel our upcoming online events because of users of Slippy." And the controversy comes that Slippy is a mod of Melee, but without Slippy, we don't even have Melee being broadcast, so what's the big fucking deal? Anyways, I'm passionate about this. There's essentially Nintendo trying to say that we can't broadcast Slippy at all. And it still is prevalent to this day because certain things like the Smash World Tour, we can't even use an online portion of it. It has to be done in person. So any event that's touched by Nintendo cannot use Slippy. This is a very unfortunate situation. Banjo-Kazooie and James Bond. Both characters were actually once considered for inclusion in Melee, but issues arose when Rare was sold to Microsoft during development. You know, so it's very, very interesting. So, you know, there's a bunch of unused characters for Smash General Melee also. So this is actually one of the strangest facts is that James Bond was almost in Melee, of all people. And if he was in Melee, I think it would have opened up a lot of, you know, sort of ideas as to who else could be in the game, because the rule of Smash, especially in Ultimate, is that every single character in Smash needs to be from a video game and not a movie. And James Bond would have been the big exception to that entire rule. The Hyrule Temple platform text in Melee, there was a rumor mill that caused all sorts of, you know, playground arguments, that there was some sort of text on the Hyrule Temple platform. But the truth is the Hylian text is, or the Hylian text is illegible due to the texture quality of the platforms. But in later games, the text says Smash Brothers. So it's Smash Brothers, and that's the text on the platform. That's it. Bowser down throw is weight based. So you actually, when you use Bowser and you down throw Puff or Game & Watch, it deals virtually no damage at all because they're too lightweight. So if Bowser does his down throw, his big, you know, sort of like body slam onto these characters, it'll do virtually nothing, which is pretty interesting. It's like as if Bowser couldn't suck enough, here's a way he sucks more. Fire Fox angles. Essentially, with Fox, you can sort of do many angles of your Firefox. You can do upwards or downwards. You can snip to the ledge very, very easily, even from an upwards angle going downwards. In certain cases, you can hit certain perfect pixels, like on Battlefield, that allow you to snap to the ledge immediately. But the up special angles do not match the notches on the GameCube controller. And so that's a whole nother topic, but essentially on a GameCube controller, holding in a certain direction won't always guarantee you go in that angle because of the intricacies and sort of faults of the GameCube controller. And nowadays there's sort of what we call box controllers that allow you to perfectly get an angle that you want by doing certain inputs or certain button combination inputs. But yeah, mastering these angles is one more reason that makes one more way to make Fox an incredible character. One more reason he is the best character in the game. Gentleman. So a gentleman just refers to Captain Falcon doing a double jab without the following jabs. So it's the 1-2, but not the 2-2-2-2-2. And actually, that double jab actually is an amazing combo starter. So there's videos everywhere on how to gentleman. Every top Falcon player does it, and it's an amazing way to begin combos. Luigi dash tag, famously one of the worst moves in the entire game because the final shove in the stumbling flurry of fists famously lacks a hitbox. So you can sort of start it, he starts moving and dashing around, but the end of the move doesn't have a hitbox, so he's a sitting duck. So if you use this move, you're essentially guaranteed to get grabbed or punished or killed or arrested or anything. It's a horrible move, and there's a lot of moves like this where Nintendo just at a complete oversight. It's like the move wasn't even finished, so it's kind of funny. A hack dash is a way to get off the ledge as Fox. Sort of in a sense, you can recover invincibility and then immediately jump back up and wave land back onto the ledge, and you're invincible the entire time because of the ledge mechanics in Melee. So if you're a perfect player and you have balls of steel, you can hack dash the entire game. And one of the most notable people that does it is Wizrobe. He'll hack dash for dozens of hack dashes at a time. If you misinput it, you actually fall to your death, so it's extremely risky. A CPU standstill bug is basically when you start certain modes. If you stand on a certain part of the stage, or the certain edge of a platform, the computers for whatever reason will actually stand still and not do anything else. So they'll kind of just remain in place, and yeah, and people use this tactic actually to win certain modes, win certain event matches. It's a very, very interesting glitch, so it's one of the flaws in Melee's limited CPU AI. X, Y, and B victory screens. When you finish the game as whatever character, if you hold X, Y, or B, it'll actually change. You can actually select which animation the character does once you're winning. It's otherwise randomized, but each character, I believe, has 4 victory pose animations, or 3 or 4, but you can select which one you want to use with X, Y, or B. So as Luigi, I love the one where he kind of flops like a walrus. That's kind of funny. The Smash documentary refers to the Smash Brothers. It was very, very famously a documentary made by Samox. Has 9 parts, and it sort of became viral on YouTube. And it was an amazing way for everyone to learn the history of the Melee scene, and it got a lot of people into the game. So of course, the Smash Brothers documentary is free to watch. It's on YouTube right now, and it's an amazing, amazing movie, all things considered, with all 9 parts. I'd recommend it to anyone, whether they follow video games or not. It's just very, very well made. Features a lot of the top players and features a lot of the lore of the game. And there's also a follow-up to Smash documentary called Metagame, which came out this year, and that's kind of like part 2. So Smash documentary, the Smash Brothers covers, I think, like 2003 all the way up until like I want to say maybe like 2013 or 2015. Yeah, I think it ends with, I forget if it ends with 2015 or the other one starts with 2015, but it covers a lot of the golden age of Melee. Multi-shine, yeah, if Fox wasn't broken enough from watching this video, Fox can multi-shine. So you know how I said you could sort of wave dash out of shine? You can do a lot of things out of shine. You can do a lot of things out of shine, including shine. So multi-shining is sort of jump canceling one shine and immediately doing another shine. So because shine comes out on the first frame of the move, you can jump right after it, and as you're about to jump, you can input another shine. It's a very, it's very technically demanding to multi-shine, but in a sense, sort of top Fox players can do 10 shines in a row, or 15, or even 20, or 30. They can just shine over and over and over in place by just canceling the jump. The nipple spike, yeah, this is what I was referring to with Captain Falcon. I was saying it earlier. But Captain Falcon has a lot of hitboxes on his down air. If you get hit by the feet, it's a meteor. But if you get hit by the nipple, it's a true spike, and you can't jump out of it. So a lot of Falcon players off this stage will actually try to spike with the nipple, with the character right there on his chest, and you cannot jump out of that. You can't recover out of that. It's a true spike, and you're guaranteed to die. So yeah, it's his down air spike hitbox located in his chest. A sex kick refers to neutral air, but notably it's characters like Fox, Falco, Link, Sheik, Mario, and Luigi who hold a leg out in midair. It holds out for a long time and stays there. In one case, Dr. Mario has a sex kick that increases in damage the longer it's out. So Dr. Mario is one of the only, or if not the only, character in this game where the longer the neutral air is out, the harder it'll get hit. A lot of times when you leave out a move, it lingers and the damage goes down longer it's there. In this case, another really, really weird neutral air would be Link. Link has the only neutral air that the hitbox, I believe, lasts longer or as long as the animation itself, even as he puts it out. So when you use Link and you fall on someone with a nair, you'll notice him finish the move, go back to his regular animation, and the hitbox is still there. So you can do nair into nair, and it's actually a double hitbox. And it's kind of, I think that was a fault in design. But yeah, some of the more interesting sex kicks in the game. Port priorities. So there's a lot of weird parts of Smash Bros. Where if you plug into a certain port, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you'll have certain priority on things, like which character will be KO'd first, if you do 2 grabs at the same time, who grabs who. In Brawl, it has some outcomes too. So there's a lot of things that change because of port priority. Grabbing, throwing, you can get sort of one frame of hit stun higher if you're on a higher port. Grabbing edges, if 2 people grab the ledge at the same time, the character with the lower port will grab the ledge first. Picking items up, if 2 characters pick the same item at the same time, land in the same space. transformations, KOs. Yeah. So essentially, it's a way for the game to deal with situations where two things happen at the exact same time. It just defaults to a lower or higher port depending on what it is. So choose your ports wisely. And in tournaments, actually, top players will often, if they care about this a lot, they'll often RPS for a certain port. If a guy says, I want port 4 or port 1, they'll RPS for that pretty often. It's very common in competitive tournaments for that to happen. It's not going to guarantee you a win, but it might add that extra frame, the extra 1% chance of something happening. Inverted knee. It's Captain Falcon's knee, but inverted. It's a reverse knee. So if you use a knee on the edge of someone's hitbox, it'll actually go the other way. You'll see this a lot of times if Captain Falcon grabs the ledge and the opponent recovers and lands like a sitting duck on the ledge. If he jumps up and knees through them, in a sense, they'll go backwards, which means the blast zone will be a lot closer to them and they'll die a lot more often. So reverse knee or inverted knee, very, very useful tool for Falcon players to get kills. Triangle jumping, it sort of refers to you using a botched wave land or wave dash. You air dodge downwards from the air, and you can do it in a certain direction, left or right, and it causes you to not be able to get grabbed. And this is a perfect example of that. It's a triangle jump. It also, if you use a triangle jump in the wrong situation, it causes you to be vulnerable to a lot of things, but it happens so quickly when you input it. It's an extra little boost to go left or right to get out of bad situations. So that's a triangle jump. Break the target speedruns. A big popular speedrun category is to see how quickly you can do all the break targets challenges as fast as you can, and it's really, really cool because players have been optimizing this for years and years now, and even like I'm telling you, like this week, another break the targets record was just made. So with all the characters in the game, there's always extra strategies, and this is also popular in the tool assisted run community. So tassing to see what the sort of theoretical best possible time is. And go ahead and watch this if you haven't, because it's really, really fascinating. You know, a lot of players have been like grinding these and making sure that it works. And I believe there's an entire documentary on the Peach break the target speedrun because of how insanely accurate it be. Like this is from 2015, and this video is outdated. But yeah, there's a whole history to this, and the Peach one, for instance, if you use TAS, it you know, the theoretical best speedrun involves you pulling out like 3 bombs in a row, or stitch faces and bombs, or some other thing. And so you'll have people who actually been grinding this over and over, as well as home run contests, just to get that perfect record with Peach. And it involves like doing all these perfect inputs and then praying you get the perfect turnip pool. So yeah, it's a really cool speedrun category, and it's gotten ridiculously fast now. Yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash? This refers to Scar commentating one of Mango's sets.
You need that edge guard, and I think you should take me seriously, because look at the scoreboard now.
Yeah, I got numbers on
the... Yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash?
He did. He really did, though.
I believe it was Mango versus Hacks at Big House, and Scar is commentating, and Mango decides to go Captain Falcon against Hacks' Fox. He walks up slowly to Hacks after he like gets a tech, and I think he calls out like a spot dodge, and he just does a raw down smash in neutral, which is usually a horrible move, but Mango called him out and actually was able to kill him. So Scar's saying, yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash? Was one of the most quoted commentary moments in the history of Smash. Bowser's giant hands, it's called the giant hand glitch. If Bowser's holding an item and he air dodges and lands on the ground, his fist gets enormous. It's just kind of hilarious. It's really easy to pull off too. And so you just kind of just do it, and if you pause it at the right time, his hand just turns huge. It's just really, really funny. Young Link Fire Sword. The sweet spot of Young Link's down air causes a fire effect. The strange hitbox is actually in the hilt of the sword. So it's one of those cool things that happens on the sweet spot of Young Link's dare. He has a fire animation. Super Wave Dash. A Super Wave Dash refers to a character that can zoom across the entire stage by doing certain inputs. The most popular one is Samus, by using bomb and then doing a certain input left and right on your controller. It's not really a wave dash per se, it's just a way for your character to teleport across the entire stage. And it's not just Samus has one. Pikachu and Link actually also have a super wave dash, and there's probably a chance that other characters do as well. So interesting move. I've seen it used in tournaments also, sometimes to BM players and style on them, but sometimes actually as great mix-up tools. And along with Samus, she also has what's called the extended grapples. A Samus extender, if you input on the D-pad while you're using Samus's grab, it goes a ridiculously long length, and it actually allows you to aim it too. You can do it behind Samus, above Samus, just really wild. And it actually will connect also, and it actually leads to kill situations. So it's one of the wonkiest looking setups in the game, but it's viable tool. It's one of those random things that the developers decided to put into the game.
Under Night in Birth, executable, latest, or as the cool kids say, Eunice.
What? No!
What are these games?
Don't even f***ing talk to us. Don't even talk to us.
What is this Garbo lineup? I'm not applying for shit.
With f***ing Under Night in Birth.
Stop using my images.
Dude, f*** you, dude.
Don't f***ing talk to me.
Just end us.
F*** you.
Why don't you just end us?
No, f*** off. F*** off. I'm not gonna watch this.
No!
That's a goodbye forever. F*** you.
If there's not a welcome back at the end of this, this is the most evil way of saying f*** you in the history of time.
Evo 2019. Basically, this was Eunice, like Under Night in Birth, taking up the last slot of Evo 2019 in person, and Mr. Redacted saying, I mean, Melee had a great run at Evo, and then there's a video with me, notably as a thumbnail, where all the Melee players, all the Smash players are reacting to Melee no longer being at Evo. So they sort of just dropped the game, even though it had record numbers, and we were all pretty pissed about it. So that's what it refers to, Evo 2019, aka the death of Melee. But then Melee got revitalized thanks to Slippy. So 20 more years, guys. 20 more years. Roy's dash attack. For some reason, Roy's dash attack only has like a hitbox at the bottom when he's scooping you up, and no hitbox at all in the front of it. It's a horrible, horrible move. But if you hit it, it actually leads to some pretty good combos. Notably, Zane, as Don't Test Me, in recent time has made this move pretty good. But it's a horrible move. There's so many bad moves in Melee. The Pokemon Stadium glitch. So Pokemon Stadium has transformations. As recently, it's been with new versions of Melee, like Slippy, we've frozen the stage to make sure the transformations don't happen anymore. And the reason is because the transformations, not only are they not neutral, there's weird glitches in it. And the most famous Pokemon Stadium glitch is on the fire stage. There's a way to clip into the stage through the tree on the bottom floor as well. And it's happened in tournaments before.
My guy. All right, can SJ put together a Johnny Stalker? Are we going to see Plup go up 2-0? For the first time, could we see... Oh! What the hell? Are you kidding me? The Pokemon glitch in top 8 at Shine!
Like S2J versus Plup at Shine, you can actually fall through the stage. And then if you try to recover, you can just get screwed over. So that sort of whole terrain is very glitchy and weird. And yeah, it's hilarious, but it was legal in tournaments for, I mean, decades. So kind of wild. Mute City banners. This is one of the weird things in Mute City. It's a stage here. It says Smash 2 on them, which I always thought was pretty funny. Peach Beam Sword. Like I said earlier, you can actually pull out items as Peach. You have a 1 in 728 chance, or 0.13% chance of pulling out a beam sword. And this beam sword has been used in tournaments before to like take stocks and win sets, because it's actually a really crazy item. It has a lot of range to it. So she's the only character in the game that can pull out any item like this in the middle of the game. So pretty crazy. If a player holds L and R and presses A in tournament mode, they enter the tournament as random, showing a Ditto icon, which is a cute little Easter egg, but yeah, that's what you show up as. So it's one of those slots. It almost makes you believe that Ditto is a playable card in this game, but Ditto is not. And yeah, this is one of those things you can do. Apparently, Ditto was planned for Melee. The icon was in the game, but you know, according to this video, you know, the character was apparently planned for the game and then scrapped later alongside many other characters And let's be honest, I'm not sure how that character would have even worked. Maybe Ditto would have been a funny way to do a guaranteed mirror match. We call them Dittos in this game, so in a way, Ditto's spirit has survived into the tournament age. And when you say Ditto, also, I don't know how many of you guys watching are from the fighting game community. You might call a mirror match when two of the same character are fighting each other. In Smash Bros, we call them Dittos. So a Fox Ditto, a Marth Ditto, etc., etc. And then sticky walking refers to the fact it's kind of like moonwalking, but a little different. Actually, editors, I don't think this is a moonwalk. So a sticky walk is sort of when your character runs forward and then sort of does a slow animation and keeps running forward. It's a sticky walk. It's like kind of like a moonwalk forward. It's running, but slowing down tremendously the pace of that run in order to mix up your opponent. So that's basically it. I hope you guys have been interested so far, because there is a lot more to go over. But make sure you tune in again for part 2 of this video when we go deeper into this Iceberg.